Hi, I'm Daniel Likis, and welcome to Science 101, where curiosity meets evidence and complex ideas are explained clearly, one discovery at a time. One discovery at a time. How are you, partner?
I'm doing fine, Daniel. How are you doing today?
Wow, excellent and fabulous. Can I combine those words? Excellent and fabulous.
Yes, and mine. This is great. Yeah.
That'd be awesome. And
Yes.
another well, well informed episode that Mr. Mark will give to us.
Yes. Today we're going to talk about the big picture,
Yes, the
not
last
the
time we
big
talked
big.
about yes, right? The last time we talked about big picture, and today only one big picture in the universe.
Yes. Yeah. Well, there's several, but ours is our big picture, and the big picture basically is the lifespan of the sun, and that's a
Mm.
smaller pic. It's a smaller picture within the big picture, which is the lifespan of the universe. So we're shrinking down into our own neighborhood and the time span from the beginning and the ending of the sun, and what that really means to you as a viewer and a human. It's really important to understand that we are systematically in the beginning and the end of a sun, and what that means and what that tells us is really important. It's important to understand that it's normal for suns to end, and that is a process that develops something, at least here on Earth, that it develops intelligence, and that intelligence is supposedly supposed to be able to dodge the end of its Earth. And in a weird way, that's a concept that you would have a sun um, formulate this planetary disk. And then one of those planets within the disk is going to be warm enough for water, and eventually develop biology, and that biology will develop uh, a series of evolutionary animals to one day stand up and become an intelligent human, in our case, human intelligence, and recognize that the end of our sun, our solar system, is coming. And it's really weird how there's plenty of time to gather that and go, well, we've got to do something about it. We have 500 million years left to actually, evacuate the Earth. But that's the system. We're being produced in order to be able to become intelligent enough to do that. And in recognizing that in fungus theory, it hit home like, well, that's what it's really all about. It just simply is. It isn't about anything else. So the big picture is just the beginning and, more importantly, the end of our sun, and why. Do you have any
Why will it
questions, Daniel?
happen? Yes. Why
Well,
will it happen?
because the sun is designed to burn on hydrogen and helium, and there's no oxygen in space, so it's just fueling itself to burn like a candle. And that candle is a heating source for some biology somewhere that has randomly, happenstance, randomly just developed around it, in centrifugal force, which is a planet, and Earth happens to be the one that has the temperature for biology. So the sun is kind of a candle that burns out eventually. And when it does burn out, it's going to grow into what they call a red giant, and then kind of a small explosion where it's just this cosmic nebula again, and then all that eventually shrinks down into a white dwarf. And so we'll still have some planets after this event, after the red giant event. We'll have some planets still rotating around. It might just be Jupiter and Pluto and that kind of stuff, but uh, this is a system. It's a solar system. They call it a solar system because it's very
Mhm.
systematic in that process. So, like a candle, If you ever watched one burn out in slow motion, you've seen those slow motion movies of,
Yes.
bullets and candles and a match, especially a match. You watch it burn out. It goes 4 or 5 times its original size at the end, searching for that last bit of oxygen before it goes poof, and then it's just that little thing of smoke. Well,
Mhm.
it's no difference with our sun when it gets low enough on helium and hydrogen. It's just going to try and stay alive by expanding into that red giant and burn up its last bit of fuel, and then poof, goes back down into kind of smoke and then a white dwarf. And it's happening all over the cosmos. It's what the cosmos was definitely designed to do. There
Mm.
really isn't anything else significant uh, other than that it's a solar system plantation. So why doesn't it last forever? We keep thinking, well, we're going to make heaven our earth and stay here forever. But in fact, it isn't. And acknowledging that is really important for every human, I think, because then you know why all humanity is here. It's not confusing to you. It's while I get it, we are forced as or enforced because we can decide not to do this, but we're enforced to develop the technologies to survive and escape Earth before it's no longer habitable by design, whether this is intentional from God or some scientists somewhere and behind the curtain. but but it's absolute, and I call it the human condition of absolute. Uh, that we're under this condition, and we operate as though our subconscious knows this, and we are developing technologies. We're striving to live longer. Our nervous systems are always uh, just constantly curious and trying to evade the end, whether it's our own lives or our family and children's lives, or the lives of humanity in general. This is already built into us all by design. So for me, it's just important to help everybody understand that this isn't a it's not a metaphor. It's not uh, meta- metaphysics. It's actually really real numbers is the way to look at it. Science to me is numbers, and a two will always be a two, will never be a three, and that's why you can always rely on science. So if the numbers are right and the temperature of our planet is going to get extremely warm, which is numbers, then you know for a fact why we're here. We're here to get off, and that's kind of the best way to put it.
So,
And
do you
that's the
think,
big
Mr.
picture.
Michael, that we can get off from our planet or from our solar system when the time will come?
Yes, it's thermodynamically enforced. So the hotter it gets, the more we have to do something about that. And obviously, in Phoenix, Arizona, it wouldn't grow to be a city until the 50s when air conditioning was invented. And then it was allowed to grow into the city it's in today. So that's a
Mhm.
good example of being forced into doing something technological to survive. It's a great example, actually, because in order to be living on this planet one day, we'll have to do that with the whole planet, air condition the whole planet, or or do what I do what I think is going to happen is the burrow revolution will occur, which all of humanity and all animals that want to survive will have to go underground, and that will go on for thousands of years. So it's incremental due to this increase in temperature or numbers, if you want to call it that. It's just going to increase. The BTUs will just force us underground. I mean, what else can you do? And then when you're underground, you're there for thousands of years, twiddling your thumbs, going, okay, what's next? Well, that's pretty obvious that you have to leave our planet. You have to evacuate this systematically dying planet. And to do that, you have to become extremely intelligent. You have to be a super, super intelligent human being in order to be able to do that. And we're on our way there. That's in in my eyes, it's just that is exactly what it is. I'm not confused about it at all. That was the design long before the solar system actually and the sun actually came. It for
So
me. It's Go ahead.
we're having Exodus part 2, as in the Bible, right?
Oh,
Living from our Mother Earth to survive.
hmm yeah. It's kind of like innocence doesn't really have any reason for existence. It's just innocent. It's just sitting there, and it's great, but it's not producing anything. It's not going to have any real um, meaning within itself. So uh, innocence, in a way, is destroyed by forcing these conditions to survive. And uh, if we left it up to us, we'd be couch potatoes in 2 seconds flat. I probably would. Uh, and whoever designed this expanding universe isn't going to tolerate that. And so to seems systematic, like, well, so that these animals or humans, don't leisure their way through their life and find an excuse not to be productive. We'll just keep increasing the temperature, and then you'll have to make an air conditioner, go underground, and eventually leave the earth. I just find that absolutely amazing as a concrete understanding of why humans exist, or any other life form on any other biosphere in the universe. It's been so fulfilling to really realize that it's fact, evidential, and absolute. Um, yeah.
So, Mr. Mark, in an era of artificial light and indoor living, what have a culturally and psychologically lost in our diminished direct relationship with the sun's daily and season cycles?
See if I got that question right.
Mm,
The cycles of the seasons,
yes.
and what was your question again?
We miss those cycles, right? Because of those artificial light and indoor living. Just like our body
Hmm.
can see that, oh, this the sun, just like what we are having now, our cell
Yeah.
phone, right? They are
Yeah.
emitting
The blue light.
blue lights, so we can mimic the sun, are we?
Uh, I think the way to answer that is, well, there's seasonal depression. If you don't, you're supposed to wake up right away and look closely directly into the sun. Don't look directly into the sun, but you're
Hmm.
supposed to get some sunlight right on your eyes right away. That does something chemically to your brain, and it's very natural to wake you up. So that cures seasonal depression. Um, and I think you're referring to, if we were to one day be in the Burrow Revolution underground, how would we, simulate the sunlight
Yes.
to survive underground? Yeah, I think that is something that will be avoided through genetic engineering. That you won't need the sun on your skin. It will alleviate the need to not need that vitamin D through solar on your skin. It'll be genetically engineered out, and in fact, possibly that if you ever did get sun on your skin after changing, it could, be considered something like radiation and kill you. So I think it would be cost effective, also biologically protective to eliminate the need from the sun, especially when you know that you're going to end up in a spaceship leaving
Mm-hmm.
Earth. You're leaving the sun entirely. So why make an artificial sun? That's the way I look at it. Just genetically,
Interesting.
Yes, yes.
Interesting, Mr. Mark. So, how can you relate the fungus theory to the sun's power?
Great. Well, biology started with microbes, enzymes,
Yes.
and then bacteria. That's biology. But it turned into multicellular animal that was both plant and animal together, and that was the original fungus. Uh, what the big picture does is it ignites that biological process that took about 1 billion years to do that, maybe even two. And the sun is slowly incubating it like something like a petri dish, or you can call the Earth a petri planet. Would be the best way to look at it. It's a petri planet. You're trying to grow a culture inside of it for some reason, like they do in lab. If you want to find out what if you have a lung problem or an infection, they'll take a piece of that bacteria, and they'll grow it in a petri dish to see what it is because it's too small at first. Uh, so on Earth, being a petri planet, we're growing the same thing. We're growing something that might be intelligent enough to escape its encompassing doom, which is the end of its planet or the end of its sun. But to incorporate this into fungus theory, you you can't get that intelligent animal without growing it from scratch. And the reason why is hidden true origin, and that's for a later discussion. Hidden true origin, uh, but whatever might become intelligent enough to recognize where it came from would stop growing. So mechanically, you can see that it's impossible to do that. So you have to grow it from an originating source, which is an original fungus, both plant and animal. The plant life split away and went on to land in preparation for amphibious life, obviously, right? You have to have one before the other. The amphibious life had food then to eat when it crawled up on land, and eats plant life, and then eventually stands up, gets intelligent, recognizes that the end is coming, even if it's in 1 billion years. The That becomes the new agenda. That becomes the primary goal of humanity, and the primary goal of the original fungus. It's kind of alien weird, like this original fungus had a goal before there were any animals. So how's this fungus going to get off the planet? Well, it's got to become, multicellular. It has to grow a spine in the ocean. It has to walk up on land on all four legs for a period of time. Now, the fungus is conscious that it's got to get off the planet, so it's doing this. It's adapting to new environments constantly. So it adapts from water to land, then from land to sky. That's the humans, and then from sky to space. It's always adapting to these environments, trying to survive the old environment. And the fungus seems like it's just one large animal doing this. So in the end, its ultimate goal is just to get off of this planet. And I think that is where life really starts. Cognitive, conscious, self-propelling life really starts when humans are no longer on Earth. They're now literally responsible for every aspect of their existence. Not a planet anymore where there's food and gravity and all that stuff. It's because that part of life goes on for trillions of years. Earth is only here for 9 billion, and biology is only here for 5 billion. As a system, as a numerical scientific fact mechanism, there's no doubt that this is how it's all operating.
It's a
And that's the fun.
system.
It's a system, and the fungus's primary goal is to get out of here. In
Mm.
order to do that, it has to develop a human, and that human goes to work and develops the technology for that fungus. You can look at it like that. So the fungus is having us get to work every day, improving technologies. Eventually, we can genetically engineer ourselves to leave away from Earth in some type of artificial biosphere away from Earth. It needs it. Otherwise, the fungus knows it's going to perish. So we're slaves to this. and and in the end, human beings will systematically be considered the spore of that fungus. So the fungus technically will stay on Earth and die with all of biology, and humans will be the spore that escapes from that fungus. And that's how fungus theory makes sense to me.
Well, thank you for that fungus theory, Mr. Mark. So let's go back to the sun itself. The solar punk features. If we fully master the integrated the solar energy, not just electricity, but a deep understanding of the cycles into our civilization's design, what might true solar punk society look like?
A solar panel society?
Mm-hmm.
Is that the question? Well, um, we kind of already have one. There's those factories out in the desert that are utilizing solar energy. And
Yes.
my best take on that is Elon's suggestion that if we were to solar panels one state the size of Utah, say, it could power the entire United States continuously. And he's the guy to ask that question to, for sure.
Yes, definitely. We will mimic the sun and then we move the earth and then we make our own sun. Won't you think?
Uh, yeah, that's a huge task. It's fanciful. I don't think that sun is humongous.
Humongous.
It's a nuclear thing. It's massive. I don't think you can reproduce it ourselves. I think it's meant to be like that. And I think that that alone enforces us to uh, genetically engineer ourselves for an artificial biosphere and live without a sun. Um,
Mhm.
and
Definitely.
what's weird is I think the government knows this. The government has got think tanks. I mean, millions of dollars of think tanks all over the world. They've put all this together, and they haven't come out and publicized it for some reason. Uh, but they know the end of biology. The Biocene has at most 1 billion years left, and really start to become uninhabitable in 500 million. And I would say our exit date is 250 to 300 million if we really want to successfully avoid the end. I don't know why the government, you know, doesn't know this. It would be impossible that they don't. And if they do, then
Probably.
aren't they governing all the development of technology to achieve that ultimate goal now? That's why I think so many unexplained things occur, like the mergers of countries, the dissolving of countries, and the resources. We just experienced this with Venezuela. That there's a major global government that knows that the ultimate goal is, and the ultimate goal is being capable of surviving the end of Earth. Well, why isn't that a daily goal? It probably is, and we just don't see it because the government doesn't share it with us. They probably can't share it with us because us basic humans can't fathom, what that is. But I'm going to put an end to that by teaching every individual the true outcome of our big picture solar system and Earth, and why it's good, and why it's exciting to look forward to, and that the
Mhm.
government probably already knows this.
They for sure they know. It
Yeah.
so happened that they use first politics first, and then our generation, future generation, will be well banished because of Too much politics, right? Too much politics.
Um, it always seems like that, too much politics. But politics to me is the impact zone of conscious growth, where you have the majority of a society that is at a certain mentality. It doesn't grow more or less. It's always consistent with that mentality because they're child bearers. The majority of it, any society are the child bearers. And you can't involve yourself in politics and raise a kid at the same time. I think
Yes.
that's what allows politics to bombard any society with what its what its ulterior motives are, because you're busy guiding this other psychological entity or two or three. uh, so it leaves it wide open for people who have inherited the knowledge of politics for thousands of years, obviously, to just do what they want. But I think that what that so to clarify this, the majority of reproducers, they become aware of something all at once. Like it's like one animal, and so they become conscious of one new thing at a time, and that's what's relevant to that group. Nothing more, nothing less, because they're at this particular period of awareness. So that becomes a political voice. And then the government, doesn't want that voice to be heard, or it does or it doesn't. And then it's like a tennis game of ideas that's constantly going on. And then once that new idea or awareness is embodied and reacted to within that group, it now becomes the past, and it becomes a cognitive idea that's part of your system now. And it leaves a door open for a new awareness. No, now look what we got to focus on. We discovered this thing, and it becomes this big uh, uh, attention grabbing immediate thing that you have to deal with right away. And some of those ideals are irrational, and some of them are realistic and ignored. So I think that's what's constantly going on with politics. It's the impact zone of conscious growth. Yeah.
Hmm. Conscious growth, people. So, Mr. Mark, to wrap up our discussion for today, after a
Mm.
lifetime of studying the sun, if you had to define the single most profound gift it is given, not just to Earth, but to the cosmos, what would it be?
Well, because we are alive and we are cognitive of that and we can observe our place in the universe, the entire universe was designed for us to do that and nothing else. It really is that simple. It's the only method by which you can develop something biological like ourselves to be that objective. It's the only way you could do it. And it feels good to understand that you're in a locked system that's designed you, and that's what it's really all about. It really is all about that.
Certainly, people, whatever what happened to us, well, in God we trust, right? For
Yes,
sure, God
absolutely.
will not forsake us. God will save us, even if it's not our generation. For sure, He will save our humanity in different kind of forms, either in fungus forms or either experiment that they will exist just to save our species. So, Mr.
He's
Mark, yes, go ahead.
really quickly, God is wanting us to do that, but he's
Mm,
helping us do that. That's what I think. Good point.
yes, that's one of the theory, Mr. Mark, that we need to think, not to be a dumb. We need to be intelligent, right?
Yes,
Mm.
absolutely.
We we need to use our brain 100%, not only 10%, to have this maximum capacity. Is it true? Do you believe that, Mr. Mark, that we're using only 10% of our brain?
No, that's a kind of a old fallacy. We
Mm-hmm.
we use all of our brain, but somehow I forgot how they measured that. I'll look into it. But no, we don't use just 10% of our brain. See, our brain is already growing. So every time a human is born, that brain is a fraction larger. So in 1,000 years, our skulls are going to be bigger. So it wouldn't do that if you weren't using it. So there's proof right there that you use your whole brain because it needs more room. Every time it reproduces, it needs a bigger skull.
Bigger.
Right. And that's the evolutionary evidence right there that you use all of your brain.
And one trivia, they said that if you don't sleep enough, the brain itself, they eating themselves. I don't know if it's true, but well, science 101. The brain will eat itself if you don't if you don't sleep well. So sleep well, people, 8 hours a day.
Yes, get your sleep for sure.
Yes,
And we'll have a discussion about the evolution of the human brain growth. That's another.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yes.
Yeah.
Let's do that next episode, Mr. Mark. The human growth brain, because this is the central part of our brain. Without our brains, we are nothing. Don't you think?
And it's designed it so it can escape the earth one day. It needs that brain.
Yes, certainly. Okay. So, Mr. Mark, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Will you please plug in your book, please? Fungus Theory.
Oh, yes. Fungus Theory of Conscious Growth. It's on Amazon. It's a lot. I suggest just thumbing through it and finding headers of interest and just read that one header. Fumble through it again and look for another header that sounds interesting and just read that one header. It's fairly organized, but it's very massive. And if you get the book, I hope you enjoyed it. And please leave a comment. Thank you.
Yes, people, let's support Mr. Mark Christensen, because if you support him for more and more empowering books like this to come. So, Mr. Mark, who knows, the brain waves will come, right, Mr. Mark? Let's do that. Your next book, Brain Waves.
We will. We'll talk about the growth of the human brain.
Yes. Mardika people, see you soon.